Have you seen the floor of the fourth ventricle in the dissection hall? Not yet. Because this is one thing, the floor of the fourth ventricle, it is like beautifully seen uh, in when we take out the brainstem or brainstem with the cerebellum, then it is seen. So you have to like identify the structures, the nuclei in the floor of the fourth ventricle. So that is something which is asked in the viva and in the exams also. And then certain tumors of the cerebellum, they when they get enlarged, they can obstruct the fourth ventricle, and to like approach to those tumor, it is through the fourth ventricle. So that is why the anatomy of the fourth ventricle is important, though the topic is very small. So fourth ventricle is small, so it's gross anatomy. It is also like there are few things, so just we will be like doing it. um so what is fourth ventricle? How many ventricles are there? There are two lateral ventricles, then third ventricle, and then there is fourth ventricle. So if somebody asks, so what or for what which purpose these ventricles are meant for storing the CSF, and then there is a complete CSF circulation through these ventricles. So how the CSF is formed, where it is formed? It is formed by the choroid plexus. Mostly it is said that the choroid plexus of the lateral ventricles. So this is, I would say, the ventricular system. No talking. So this is the ventricular system or the cavities in the brain which are lying. So this one is the one lateral ventricle, and you can see a mirror image in the second cerebral hemisphere. So this is what? This is the lateral ventricle. So this is the anterior horn body, the posterior horn, and the inferior horn of the lateral ventricle. And then the CSF, please. How the CSF is secreted? It is mainly formed by the choroid plexus in the floor of the fourth ventricle. Then it travels in the cavity. Then through which foramen it passes to the third ventricle, which is this foramen. This is the foramen of Monro. So through the foramen of Monro or through the interventricular foramen, it passes through to the third ventricle. Then through the third ventricle, the CSF will reach to the fourth ventricle through this duct. This is the cerebral aqueduct of Sylvius. So through the cerebral aqueduct, it passes to the fourth ventricle. Then in the fourth ventricle, there is choroid plexus. There is choroid plexus situated in the roof of the third ventricle also. So that means the CSF is forming in all the ventricles, but most of the CSF is secreted in the lateral ventricles. And then finally the CSF is absorbed. Then through the cavity of the fourth ventricle, it will pass. This is what? This is the central canal. It will pass through the medulla, and then it will pass through the central canal of the spinal cord. So then the CSF is drained through the three foramina which are situated in the roof of the fourth ventricle. They are the foramina of Magendie and Lashka. So there are two lateral foramina and one medial foramen. Through those foramina, the CSF is absorbed at the venous end. So at one end it is formed at the arterial end, and at the other end it is absorbed at the venous end. Then so that means this is the fourth ventricle. Where it is located, it is cavity of which part of the brain? It is situated behind pons and medulla, or we will say pons and medulla are in the front, and behind there is cerebellum. So that means it is the cavity of the hind brain, and this whole of the ventricular system that is lined by a lining that is known as ependyma. So it is so what is fourth ventricle? It is a tent-like cavity of the hind brain. It is situated in the posterior cranial fossa, because the rest of the parts of the all the parts of the hind brain, the pons and the medulla and the cerebellum, so it is located in the posterior cranial fossa. It is triangular in outline in the sagittal section. So when we take a sagittal section in the midline, the cavity will appear triangular, and if we take a horizontal section, it will appear rhomboid shape. So what do you understand by the horizontal section? The section will be taken from the anterior pole to the posterior pole. So in the horizontal section, it will appear rhomboid in shape, and it will appear triangular in the sagittal section. So this hole is the lateral ventricle, the anterior horn, posterior horn. This one is the inferior horn. Again, you can see this is the third ventricle. Through the foramen of Monro, this CSF will pass. Through the aqueduct of Sylvius, it will reach to the fourth ventricle. Then it will travel to the central canal of the spinal cord. So this way, this is the fourth ventricle. So if we talk about the location of the fourth ventricle, it is situated behind the pons and the upper part of the medulla. You know that there are two parts of the medulla. The lower one is the closed part, and then there is open part or the upper part. So only the upper part of the medulla oblongata, and then we will see the pontomedullary junction. They will form the anterior wall or the so they will be forming actually these structures will be coming in the floor, and then it is situated in front of the cerebellum. So what do you think? Can we make out certain angles in the fourth ventricle? Like what are the connections of the cerebellum? Superiorly, it is connected to what? To the cerebral aqueduct of Sylvius. So it has got a superior angle, it has got an inferior angle, and then there are two lateral angles. Then there is a roof, there is a floor, and then there are lateral boundaries. So if we see, so what are the features? There are angles, there are boundaries, there are recesses, and then there is one choroid plexus. I'm sorry, एक साथ कहीं भी नहीं लिखा हुआ है. इसकी जो walls है, मतलब हम इसे define करेंगे? There is a roof, there is a floor, then there are angles. There are four angles: superior angle, inferior angle, and then there are two lateral angles. And then the extensions, it has lateral boundaries also, and then it has got certain recesses also. So before coming to the recesses or the extensions, first we will be coming to the angles. So one is the superior angle. At the superior angle, it is continuous with the cerebral aqueduct of Sylvius. At the inferior angle, it is continuous with the central canal of the closed part of medulla, which continues into the central canal of the spinal cord. Then it has got two lateral angles, which, please, no talking. So at the two lateral angles, there are two extensions. They are known as the lateral recesses, and they are located at the cerebellopontine angles. So that means lateral angles, they are extending into the recesses. There is one superior angle, inferior angle, and then there are two lateral angles. So these are actually the connections it is making. So then this portion or this picture is showing the floor of the fourth ventricle, and these are the lateral boundaries of the fourth ventricle. Actually, the floor of the fourth ventricle, it consists of gray matter and white matter, and it is visible as some solid substance. Whenever we look at the fourth ventricle, it is a cavity. So it has got a very thin roof, which is made up of, we will be seeing the superior and the inferior medullary vellum. So usually it gets stripped off, or it doesn't appear when we take the section. So what is visible is the floor of the fourth ventricle. So it is bounded laterally by, so it has got, please, there are two superolateral boundaries, there are two inferolateral boundaries. So can you tell me the superolateral boundaries are formed by what? What are these? What is this? The superior cerebellar peduncles, and superior cerebellar peduncles connect the cerebellum with the midbrain. So So superior cerebellar peduncles will form the superolateral boundaries, and there is a substance that is known as superior medullary vellum. It will like bridge these two, bridge the two superior cerebellar peduncles, and they will form the superior part of the roof. Then similarly, the inferolateral boundaries are formed by inferior cerebellar peduncles, and along with the inferior cerebellar peduncles, what are the structures in the medulla? यहाँ पे और क्या क्या है? There is nucleus cuneatus, nucleus gracilis. Similarly, there is fasciculus cuneatus and fasciculus gracilis. So along with the inferior cerebellar peduncles, please, what is the difference between fasciculus cuneatus and fasciculus gracilis, and for what they are meant for? Cuneatus carries the sensations from the upper limb, and gracilis will carry the sensations from the, and they are carrying which sensations? They are not conscious. They are related to that is the posterior this tract. So they are not related to the unconscious thing. They are related to the conscious. So fasciculus cuneatus, fasciculus gracilis, along with the inferior cerebellar peduncles, they will be forming the inferolateral boundaries of the floor of the, or I will say of whole of the fourth ventricle. So which are the structures which are forming the lateral boundaries for the fourth ventricle? Superiorly, there are superior cerebellar peduncles, or superolateral boundaries are formed by superior cerebellar peduncles, and inferior boundaries formed by the inferior cerebellar peduncle along with the fasciculus cuneatus and the fasciculus gracilis. So these they will be forming the inferolateral boundaries. If you know that how the brain is placed over that over the skull, so that if the brain is placed over like this, that will become the ventral surface, and the dorsal surface of the medulla and the pons, so that will be like coming. So on the dorsal surface we have fasciculus cuneatus and gracilis, and along with that we have the inferior cerebellar peduncle. On the ventral surface, what are the features on the medulla? There is pyramid, there is olive, and there is inferior cerebellar peduncle. So that is common. So on the dorsal surface you will find these features, and they will be forming the inferolateral boundaries. Now if I talk about the roof will be formed by superior medullary vellum, which will bridge these two cerebellar peduncles, and inferior medullary vellum, which will bridge the inferior cerebellar peduncles. Then can you tell me about the floor, how the floor is formed? ये जो floor है, it is formed by this dorsal surface of pons and the medulla. So that means that the nuclei which are situated in the pons and in the upper part of the medulla, and of course this pontomedullary junction, they will be forming the floor of the fourth ventricle. Can you identify these green colored fibers? These are what? These are the stria medullaris, which are very much visible, and they separate the pons from the medulla. So that means we can say that in the floor there is, in the upper part there is pons, in the intermediate part there is pontomedullary junction, and below this stria medullaris, this is the medullary part. So this way it is separated. So what are the boundaries of the fourth ventricle? Superolaterally there is, inferolaterally there is inferior cerebellar peduncle, which is supplemented by the gracile and the cuneate tubercles. Tubercles are formed because of the nuclei. When the tract, the fasciculi are terminating into the nuclei, then that will form a tubercle. And superolaterally, the boundary is formed by the superior cerebellar peduncle. So these will be forming the boundaries. In this picture also, if we take out this section, you can identify the three peduncles, the superior, middle and the inferior cerebellar peduncles. So this portion, please, no talking. ये जो पार्ट है, ये पूरा जो फोसा दिख रहा है ऐसा डायमंड शेपेड, ये पूरा क्या है? फोर्थ वेंट्रिकल है. जो दिख रहा है यहाँ पे पिक्चर में, जो बिल्कुल विजिबल है, ये क्या है? दिस इज द फ्लोर ऑफ द फोर्थ वेंट्रिकल. द बाउंड्रीज आर फॉर्म्ड बाय द पेडंकल्स. Superiorly you can identify the boundaries, inferiorly you can identify the boundaries formed by the inferior cerebellar peduncle. This is the stria medullaris, this is the pontine part, this one is the medullary part. So the nuclei which are present in the medulla, they will form the inferior part of the floor, and the nuclei which are present in the pons, they will be visible in the upper part of the floor of fourth ventricle. Then this way, and then where is the roof? That is formed by a membrane kind of structure. Superiorly there is superior medullary vellum which will bridge the two peduncles here, and inferiorly there is inferior medullary vellum which is a non-nervous tissue, or this one is a nervous tissue. This inferior medullary vellum is a non-nervous tissue that will form the roof in the lower part. So again you can see in this picture, if we like make out a schematic diagram from the roof of the roof. So in the upper part there is convergence of the two superior cerebellar peduncles and a thin sheet of white matter. The superior medullary vellum, which is shown in green color over here, though it is not visible as a green colored structure, it is made up of white matter. You have to remember here is superior medullary vellum is made up of white matter. Inferior medullary vellum is a non-nervous tissue, so that is the pathway which is used by the surgeons to reach to the floor of the fourth ventricle or for the tumors of the cerebellum, because if that is a non-nervous tissue, that is made up of neuroglia and all, so that is not going to damage anything. So then there is an inferior medullary vellum. So here you can identify in the roof what else is visible. No talking. In the roof what else is visible? There is foramen of Megendie, and then there are two foramina of the Lashka. So they are situated at the lateral angles. In the midline this is the foramen of Megendie. Then in the roof, from the roof, the choroid plexus will also enter into the cavity of the fourth ventricle. So that means what else you have to remember is the choroid plexus for the lateral ventricles lies in its floor. For the third ventricle, it lies in the roof. Similarly, for the fourth ventricle also, it lies in the roof. And this is the arterial end, and this is the choroid plexus. इसका shape कैसा है? It is a T-shaped kind of plexus, and then it is entering longitudinally from the foramen of Megendie. So this way, in the roof, it is situated. Then in the upper part, there was superior medullary vellum. In the inferior part, this is the inferior medullary vellum shown in purple color. There is an aperture, that is the foramen of Megendie. The foramina of Lashka lie at the lateral end, and then there is a T-shaped choroid plexus which passes through this foramen of Megendie. ये दोनों यहाँ दिख रहे हैं, लिंगुला भी दिख रहा है और नोड्यूल भी दिख रहा है. ये क्या है? लिंगुला और नोड्यूल. लिंगुला और नोड्यूल हमने कहाँ और सुना है? These are parts of the vermis of the cerebellum. So anteriorly or superiorly there was a lingula and there was a flocculonodular lobe. तो ऐसा जब वो पूरा जहाँ मिल रहा है superior inferior, यहाँ पे इसलिए ये lingula और nodule ऊपर और नीचे दिख रहे हैं. So this lingula is attached to the superior medullary vellum and this nodule is attached to the inferior medullary vellum. They are kind of supporting the roof, but then the roof is formed by these structures. Now coming to the floor of the fourth ventricle. So floor is diamond shaped or rhomboid shaped, as there is one superior angle, inferior angle, there are lateral angles also. So it is formed by the posterior or the dorsal surface of the pons and the upper part of the medulla. In between these two there is a pontomedullary junction. So can you name the nuclei, like what do you expect, what is there in the floor of the fourth ventricle? Which cranial nerve nuclei are located in the pons? Fifth, sixth, seventh and eighth nerve nuclei. So eighth nerve nuclei, the vestibular nuclei, they are located at the pontomedullary junction. So they will be visible. We will be seeing the abducens nerve nuclei in the floor. Fifth को छोड़ देते हैं. Then we will be seeing what else in the floor. In the medullary part there will be vagal nerve nucleus and the hypoglossal nerve nucleus. So those will be visible. So that means in the floor there are three parts. In the upper triangular part is formed by the posterior surface of pons. The lower triangular part is formed by the posterior surface of medulla. And in the intermediate part there is junction of the pons and medulla. At the lateral angles we will be seeing the nuclei of the vestibular nerve. So here also you can see this one, the superior and the inferior medullary velum. This one is the fourth ventricle. So this picture is like showing that the dorsal surface of the pons, this portion, and the upper part of the medulla, they will be forming the floor of the fourth ventricle, and this one is the roof of the fourth ventricle, formed by the superior and inferior cerebellar peduncles and then the velum which are bridging those peduncles. Now what are the features in the floor of fourth ventricle? Just look at this picture. Yes. So just look at this picture. This is the floor of the, shown in the purple color. This is the floor of the fourth ventricle, which everyone should know. You have to show the structures in the viva. So this one is the median sulcus, which is dividing the floor into two halves, and then each half again is divided by again a sulcus, that is the sulcus limitans. So I have talked about two sulcus. One is the median sulcus and one is the sulcus limitans. So medial to the sulcus limitans there is medial eminence, and lateral to the sulcus limitans this area is known as the vestibular area. So what did I tell you till now? बीच में क्या है इस फ्लोर में? यहाँ पे क्या है? Median sulcus, which is dividing the floor into two halves. Then laterally this one is the sulcus limitans. Medial to the sulcus limitans this is the medial eminence, and lateral to the sulcus limitans this is the vestibular area. ठीक है? फिर यहाँ पे अगर हम देखेंगे, so if this is the vestibular area, this is the stria medullaris, this is the pontomedullary junction, so this is the vestibular area. So how many vestibular nuclei are there? 4. The superior, inferior, medial and lateral vestibular nuclei, they will be located in this vestibular area. And when we have talked about the lateral angles, if we reach the limit of the lateral angles, there are cochlear nuclei also. So location is near to, but they are not counted in this floor. Only the vestibular area is counted. Then on the this medial eminence, there is a very much prominent rounded structure. This is known as the facial colliculus. So how this facial colliculus is formed? Is it formed by the facial nerve nucleus or it is formed by the abducens nucleus? बस that thing you have to remember, it is always वो बहुत अच्छा दिख रहा होता है, तुमको identify करना होता है. So in the core of this facial colliculus there is abducens nerve nucleus, and this colliculus is formed by the genu of the facial nerve fibers which wind around this abducens nerve nucleus. And like facial nerve nuclei have migrated there is some phenomenon of migration. That phenomenon is known as the neurobiotexis. So because of neurobiotexis, this have migrated, and this colliculus is formed by the genu of the facial nerve fibers, or the fibers which are winding around the abducens nerve nucleus. Now at the superior end of this sulcus limitans there is superior fovea, and here lies this black colored substance. This is known as the locus ceruleus. ये locus ceruleus क्या है? It is related to the reticular system. So there are certain nuclei which are related to the reticular system, that is concerned with the awakening response. So this locus ceruleus is located over there. Then if we come down, this one is the stria medullaris. What are stria medullaris? Which fibers? They are the like arcuate fibers coming from the medulla. They are going towards this cerebellum, and they are actually accessory cerebellopontine fibers which are forming this stria medullaris. So because you know about that, in the middle cerebellar peduncle there are corticopontocerebellar fibers. So there are certain accessory fibers, the cerebellopontine fibers, which form this stria medullaris. So this stria medullaris is very much visible. It will be like dividing, the upper part is the pons and the lower part, this portion is the medulla, and this one is the pontomedullary junction where the vestibular nuclei are located. Then what will be visible in this medullary portion? यहाँ पे क्या दिखेगा? There will be two triangles which are divided by this sulcus limitans. The upper triangle is the hypoglossal triangle and the lower triangle is the vagal triangle. So hypoglossal nerve nucleus, if you remember, it is in the medulla, and it is for which nerve? The 12th cranial nerve or the hypoglossal nerve. Then this one is the vagal triangle, so it is also visible over here. Then these two are the whitish colored sheets. These are known as the tinea. Tinea are actually some extensions from the tila choroidea of the choroid plexus. So the point at which these two tinea are meeting, that point is known as the obex, or I would say the apex of this lower part of floor of the fourth ventricle. So this whitish colored tinea are very much visible in, if the section is new. So you can just identify, if we'll see, so that will be visible. So this is known as obex. So what are the features in the lower part of the floor of fourth ventricle? How many triangles we have seen? The two triangles, the hypoglossal triangle and the vagal triangle. And then at the point where the two tinea they are meeting, that is the lower part, or known as the obex of the, and this lower part of the floor of fourth ventricle is known as the calamus scriptorius, because it appears like the nib of a fountain pen. So this is known as the calamus scriptorius. So if somebody asks, you can like tell. Then these are the nuclei, sulcus limitans. So these all are the features in the floor of the fourth ventricle. Now I'll come. So how is the floor? It is rhomboid in shape, formed by the posterior surface of pons and the upper part of the medulla. Along with that there is pontomedullary junction. So what are the sulcus? This one is the median sulcus. क्या करता है median sulcus? It will divide the floor into two halves. Then medial eminence is situated medial to the sulcus limitans or lateral to the median sulcus. So first, this is the sulcus limitans, which is like dividing each half again. So medial eminence is bounded laterally by the sulcus limitans. Then lateral to the sulcus limitans overlies the vestibular nucleus. Sulcus limitans के medially क्या है? Facial colliculus है, और laterally क्या है? Vestibular nuclei है. So it is termed as the vestibular area. So at the superior or the upper end of the sulcus limitans, it widens into a triangular depression that is known as superior fovea. There is one inferior fovea also. We'll come to that. So above the superior fovea, the sulcus limitans flattens out and it forms a bluish colored area that is known as the locus ceruleus. So have this blue colored area which is visible, very blue colored. So it is the locus ceruleus. It is connected with the reticular system or with the awakening response. Then lowermost part of the sulcus limitans, it presents a depression, that is the inferior fovea. So on either side, the medial eminence, there is an oval swelling that is very much visible, that is the facial colliculus. And this facial colliculus is formed because of the abducent nerve nuclei, which is bounded by the genu of the facial nerve fibers, which are like turning, or they are forming a bend around this abducent nerve nucleus. Now this sulcus divides the medial eminence into two triangles. In the lower part, the upper triangle is the hypoglossal triangle and the lower triangle is the vagal triangle. And then because of the features of the lower part of floor of fourth ventricle, it gives an appearance. That appearance is known as the calamus scriptorius. Now below this vagal triangle, there is one more structure that is known as the funiculus separations, and it separates an area from these triangles. That area is known as area postrema. Have you heard about the term area postrema? क्या होता है वो? That is an area which is devoid of blood-brain barrier. So that means it is sensitive. It is the vomiting center and the link to the respiratory center also. So कहीं भी मतलब जो ये जो vomit, अगर वो area stimulate हो रहा है, so there can be vomit sensation. So that area is devoid of that blood-brain barrier situated at this tip. If it is written somewhere over here, then I'll show you. Now this portion is the area postrema. So this tip is the area postrema, and this is devoid of this blood-brain barrier. So now the inferolateral angle is marked by a whitish ridge. So there is a whitish ridge over here that is known as the tinea, and the point where these two tinea meet, that point is known as the obex. So obex is the inferior angle of the floor of the fourth ventricle. Now what are the applied aspects related to the floor of fourth ventricle? One is the hydrocephalus. There are many more applied aspects, but one is the hydrocephalus and second is the Arnold-Chiari syndrome. So what happens in the Arnold-Chiari syndrome? There occurs herniation of the cerebellar tonsils. There occurs hydrocephalus, and then they will herniate through what? They will herniate through the foramen magnum. So if this cavity of the fourth ventricle is enlarged, like it will not be accommodating the tonsils of the cerebellum, so they will be like herniating, and the stimulation of the medulla and the cerebellum, so those symptoms they will be seen in that syndrome. And then what is hydrocephalus? Obstruction at any point, like whenever there is formation, if there is some difficulty in the formation, or there is over formation, or if the draining is not proper, so that can lead to hydrocephalus. And because of the hydrocephalus, the obstruction can also occur because of the tumors in the cerebellum. So those tumors in the cerebellum, they will be like compressing the fourth ventricle, so the path will be obstructed. So that will be a secondary kind of condition. The main cause is not hydrocephalus, main cause is the tumor, and that will be like causing that hydrocephalus. So these are the applied aspects which are related to the fourth ventricle, and it is approached, the newer approaches, though the approach depends on the area where the clinical condition is located, but to save like the structures of the fourth ventricle, it is approached through the inferior medullary velum, because that is a non-nervous tissue. So it is approached from that. So this is all about the floor of the fourth ventricle that is usually asked in your exam, and about whole of the fourth ventricle. So you can take